This is the inside story of commercial aviation's most ambitious project.
Building such an aircraft, it's a bit like climbing a mountain. You see the mountain in the distance. It looks, high, but not too high.
It's a tale of top-secret research and development, of confidential business deals, and above all, intense pressure.
Some people could, what do you say, break down, no?
This is precision engineering on a mammoth scale, a race against time to construct the biggest airliner in history, the Airbus A380.
Hi, this is John Travolta, and back of me is the largest commercial airliner ever built. In the first part of this documentary, we saw it come from an idea. In the second part of the documentary, we see thousands of aeronautical engineers turn it into a reality. Stay tuned.
It's May the 27th, 2004. Here in Toulouse in southwestern France, in a factory big enough to hold 16 football pitches, the Airbus engineers have just 11 months to assemble the first flying prototype. The clock is ticking. The first task is to join 7 major components into one great aircraft, a process which should take just over 5 weeks.
We need to be very, very accurate. We have to be sure that the shape of the aircraft is in line with the specification, and that the geometry of the aircraft is good, and to avoid twist fuselage or twist wings. And the performance of the aircraft depends on this shape.
Building any airliner requires precision. But ensuring the 3 enormous body sections of this giant are brought together in a perfectly straight line is an exceptional challenge.
I feel very confident now, even if it's difficult, because we have put in place very accurate systems.
The key to success lies in the use of lasers. As invisible beams scan the sections of fuselage, they're reflected by mirrors mounted on the approaching components. From this reflected light, a computer can work out the exact relative positions of the parts, ensuring perfect alignment. Once positioned, the fuselage shells are brought together very, very slowly. Each turn on the dial brings the massive parts 2.5 millimeters closer together. On the left, a part made in Germany. On the right, one made in France. This is the last stage of a 1,900-kilometre journey. Speeded up, this is the biggest airliner coming together at last. Just as planned, the sections match perfectly. The overlap is just 15 centimetres, and soon 10,000 rivets will hold the French and German-built parts together forever. Elsewhere in the factory, the first of the British-built wings is about to be mounted. Despite the use of computer-aided design, teething problems are inevitable with a prototype, and some minor work is needed on the fittings for the joint. Project leader Eddie Davies has to respond quickly to this kind of challenge.
It can happen with new aircraft. This is a last-minute job that we've had to come up today. We didn't know that the fittings weren't to the right standard, so now the guys are reworking them.
The wings are 35 metres long and each weighs more than 40 tonnes. To get them to this point has already taken 7 years of work. This engineer explains. They've reached a new phase of the assembly process. It's necessary to attach the wing in precisely the correct position. The performance and fuel efficiency of the plane depend on it. Again, the laser system ensures the wing is in the right place and at the right angle. But after a whole day of painstaking work, another small problem appears. Some large bolts have been left attached to the wing.
We must remove this one for finish the junction of the wing.
A quick phone call to check that it's okay to remove them, and now the wing can be safely joined to the fuselage. There are now just 10 months till the plane is scheduled to fly, and structural assembly is well underway. But there is no time to waste. This is the horizontal tailplane. With a span of 32 metres, it's as big as the wings of a small airliner. Made of carbon fibre in south and central Spain, it's easily the biggest tailpiece ever made. The tail fin is another carbon fibre monster. 14 metres high, this component is made near Hamburg in Germany. When installed, it will stand as tall as an 8-storey building. Some airports will have to buy new cranes to service it. Very carefully, it's eased into place and attached with 24 titanium bolts. Charles Champion, head of the entire program, comes to check on progress. But Gilles Cormier has some bad news for the boss. We have a problem with this, he says. The tail cone from Spain is 6 millimetres out of alignment, side to side. Gilles goes on to explain it's 6 millimetres on both sides, not just one. The problem is quite serious and will take 3 days to sort out, time they don't really have.
I think it's one of those phases where the success of the project is at reach, but you have many elements to tackle in parallel in order to make it happen.
Charles Champion has little option but to place faith in his team and depart.
You're watching the story of the world's largest airliner, the Airbus A380. Stay tuned, there's more after the break.
The news at the factory is good. With the tail cone and a few other problems fixed, the first A380 is about to leave the main assembling station. For Gilles Cormier, it's a good moment.
Maybe we forget a little the trouble we encountered during the past weeks, and now we are looking at the aircraft itself, the achievement, more than the difficulties we had.
Now, at last, the chance to see the biggest airliner ever built. With the shell of the aircraft complete, things are about to get really complicated. It's July 2004, and the plane is scheduled to spend the next few months in this massive hall, where thousands of parts will be fitted, including more than 800 kilometres of wiring. The man in charge of this tricky phase is fully aware there's an awful lot of work to be done by the end of October.
It's a very difficult challenge,